Hello everyone and welcome to your Movement Monday for this week. So this week we're going to go through the plank. The whole purpose of these Movement Mondays is so that you feel confident when you're doing classes, that you're doing the movements correctly and to the best of your ability. So I'm going to show you how to build up to a plank, and then we're going to do a few different exercises on how to get strong in a plank and to challenge the plank. Okay, so what we're going to do first is just make sure that we can get into a good stable plank position. So what we'll do is come onto all fours into this table position here. So what you're going to do is have your hands ever so slightly forward of your shoulders. Spread your fingers and plant your hands into the mat, so you're really pushing the mat away from you. Now, if anyone has any wrist injuries or injuries in the hands, what you can do is roll up the front of your mat and then pop your hands on top of the rolled up bit of your mat. Now you can have the wrists even more forward and have the fingers coming off the front of the wrists. Anyone who's suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome or any kind of severe wrist injuries there, that will take that bit of pressure off. So the wrists would be away from the shoulders and supported by something there, fingers spread in front, okay? Now, otherwise we have the hands just slightly forward of the shoulders so we don't have all the weight on top of the wrists. We've spread our fingers and we're pressing into all of the fingers. So we're not up on the fingertips, the fingers are spread and they're planting down. Knees are under your hips and they're just about hip distance apart. So have a look back and just make sure that they're there. And then your feet are flat to the back and they're planted down to the mat. So what we're going to do first of all is just make sure that we can create a nice straight spine. So we're going to do some cat-cows. So you're going to inhale, tuck your chin in, round out your upper spine, tuck your tailbone under. As you exhale, release your tailbone out, lift your breastbone up, lift your eye focus up. Then again, inhale, scoop the tailbone in, scoop the belly up, chest up, and then exhale, release it all out. And you want to feel what's happening with your hips. You're rolling your hips up towards your belly button, scooping and tucking your tailbone in, pressing your hips away, belly button down to the ground. What's happening with our shoulders then? We're rounding out, we're looking at our belly button, chest is going up towards the ceiling. Then we're releasing it all out, collarbone opens, eye focus up, shoulders down the back. We're just going to go for 3 more like this, feeling the difference between these two positions, between flexing the spine and extending the spine. And what I want you to do now is find a place between those two positions that's balanced. So you're not completely rounded out, you're not completely released. If I came along with a stick and I put the stick on your back, I want you to touch the back of your head, your shoulders and your bum. So you'd be in a pretty straight line to the back. Now, if you're not sure, what I recommend, set up a mirror or else video yourself and then watch it back until you get the correct position and you can feel that you're in that straight line. Now once we're here, we'll send the lower ribs up towards the belly button so that your core is nice and engaged. We're still pressing into our hands, our shoulders are nice and supported. From here, just take your right leg back out, okay? And just hold that there. Find the balance between the left and right side of your body. Shoulders stay facing forward, your eye focus is to the top of your mat. Now if this is as far as you're going to go today, that's absolutely fine. From here, what you can do is place the right foot back down and just take your left foot out and just find the balance on that side. Otherwise, keeping the leg out, reach your right leg out to meet it. So we're in a full plank position here. And this is a really nice way to get yourself into that full plank position. If you have a single leg out, you can always try both legs just for a second. And then think, is my back the same as when I was down on my knees? Or do I have an arch in my back like this? If so, tuck your hips up towards your belly button, squeeze the muscles in your bum. Send the heels of your feet back and imagine the tip of your head is reaching forward. Now I'm still pressing into my hands. Lower ribs up towards my belly button, just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down, one at a time. Or if you have one leg extended, just pop it back in, bring your feet together, sit your heels back to your bum and just release it out for a second, okay? So that's one simple way of ensuring that you're bringing yourself up. You can stay in child's pose, I'm just going to talk away. But that's a really nice way of ensuring that you go into a really good strong plank right from the start, okay? So if you're doing an online class and the instructor isn't able to give you feedback, if it's an on-demand class, just bring yourself in, do a few of those cat-cows. You can pause the video and step the feet out one at a time into a really strong plank position, making sure your back is staying straight, okay? Now, if you don't want to do the single leg, if you're able for a half plank, I'm going to show you here. So your hands are going to be just forward of your shoulders. We're in our table position. You've done your curling and releasing to find that flat back position. And then from here, just take your knees a little bit further away from you. From here, I'm just going to move my hips slightly forward. Now, I'm not dipping and creating an arch in my back or extending like this. I'm going to create a line from my shoulder through to my hip, through to my knees. So I'll be like a ski slope. And this is a really good one to practice as well if you're building yourself up to that full plank. You can hold just like this and just breathe. Lower ribs up towards your belly button. Now from here, what you can do is practice a few rotations just to feel the stability in your shoulders. So what you'll do, move your left hand in a little bit to center. Take your right hand away. Now if you take it away and you're like, oh God, that's enough for me for today, just pop it back down. And you can always try just lifting the hand up and popping it down. If you lift it up and it feels good, lift and open out to the right. Inhale, bring it to center. Pop that hand down, transfer the weight, left hand out. And inhale to center. And this is a good way just to get a little bit of movement in that half plank position. And again, build yourself up to the full plank. The longer time we spend in our half plank, the stronger we're going to get. And just creating this bit of movement is just challenging the stability in our shoulders and building up the strength in our shoulders for when we get up to our full plank position. Now, from here, we'll spread the hands. If you're staying with a half plank just like this today, that's absolutely fine. You can stay just as you are. Otherwise, if you're in this half plank and you've done that last series, from here, take your right leg straight out, curl the toes under, leg is straight, left leg goes out. Now make sure we have that straight line in the back. You can stay in half plank if you need to, otherwise we're in full plank, pushing into our hands so our shoulders are supported. From here, we're just going to float the right foot up. So what we're doing is challenging stability in our hips, building strength. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pop it down. Left leg up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pop it down. You could do that in your half plank as well, where you would just lift the leg up. Hold for 5 and switch. We're still in our full or half plank. We have 5 more seconds. Lower ribs up to the belly button. Squeeze the muscles in your bum. Heels are pressing away. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down one at a time. And sit your bum back to your heels no matter where you are. Full or half plank, we'll go into a child's pose. Sink your head, reach your hands away. Now, what we're going to do is one last exercise I'm going to show you just for building strength in your plank to make sure that we have a really, really strong plank. Or if you're still doing your half planks, it's to build up the strength in your shoulders and your arms and the stability for when you get to your full plank, okay? If you're doing it in the full plank, this is quite a challenge, so don't panic if you do it and you're like, oh, this is really shaky. Don't worry, it's one to work on, okay? So we're going to go again into our table position. From there, you can press the knees back, hips forward into your half plank, or we're going to walk the legs out one at a time into our full plank. Now you can bring your right hand ever so slightly in towards the midline, just ever so slightly. And then from there, we leave all the weight in our right hand, our left hand reaches out in front. We're going to try and keep our body weight centered. We're holding for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pop the hand down, transfer the weight. You can do this in half plank as well, reaching forward. Thumb goes up when you reach it up. And we're going to go for the other arm now. So left hand comes in, right hand out. Just 4. Keep your shoulder away from the ear. Lower ribs up. 3, 2, 1. Pop it down. And just hold. Lower ribs up. Squeeze the muscles in your bum. Press into your hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down, one at a time. Sit your bum back to your heels and just reach the hands away. Take lovely long, deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. The last little tip I'll give you, if anyone's in the half plank position and trying to build up, if you have any injuries in the knees, and you might find in your half plank that you do feel your knees on the mat. Same as what you would do for your wrists, you'll roll up your mat so that you have a little bit of support underneath your knees, okay? So there's absolutely no harm in doing your half plank and sticking with your half plank until you feel really, really strong and able to go on to the full plank. When you are moving up, you can go to single leg until eventually you can go to the full plank. So I hope those exercises that we've done today have helped you. Hopefully you've learned something new that you can take away. The single arm and the single leg exercises are really good for building up stability in your hips and your arms, whether you're someone who can hold a 5-minute full plank or someone who can only hold a 10-second full plank or half plank. You're going to have such good benefits from it. Lifting the leg up will turn on the stabilising muscles in your core as well. So all the time we're building strength. So no matter what level you're at, you're going to get something from that exercise. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something new. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all next Monday for our next Movement Monday. Well done everyone. See you soon.